Let me guess. Everything in life for you goes exactly as you plan it. Everything goes exactly the way you want things to go. No? Well, it's okay. Things go wrong in my life too. Today I'm sharing poems about those moments, those incidents where things are not as we'd like them to be. The best laid plans can still be thrown into a spanner, and we've got to know that that's going to happen. And it's going to happen more than just once in a while. For example, in the first poem, I'm trying to take an unvarnished look at a core human interaction that goes the unintended way. Or maybe it goes the way it was intended. It's far too easy and convenient to point a finger, put the onus elsewhere, and crack open a big cold can of "it's not on me," when in reality, it's almost always on us. If not the action, then certainly the reaction. And often, that's where we lose control of what we want and how we want things to go. Let's get deeper into this concept. This poem's entitled Offended or Controlled. Offense taken, real or manufactured. You heard it said, perhaps from your very own lips, expressing contempt, anger, indignation for another's utterance. Why should they care? Why should you? The answers are often erroneously tied to you. Of course, this is not where they belong. That's because the culprit's tied to where they originated. Every relationship is a dog and the master. Which role do you want to play? Only the master can offend. A dog on the leash can imagine they're in control until the leash is yanked. Oh, that poor pooch who wanted to sniff that bush. Clearly offended, forced to piss somewhere else. Which role are you in? Do you have the personal strength to piss on the tree of your choosing? Do you have the courage to defy conventional wisdom and follow the path your heart's pointing to? Failing here falls on you. Don't pass the buck because the price is far too high. Spend the capital up front. The rewards will be more than just covering the cost. I hope that poem resonates, or at least gets you thinking about how you're moving through this life. Because here's the thing. The fact is, when you're easily offended, you're also easily controlled. I feel like fake outrage is worn today like a badge of honor. I hope that poem kind of challenges you to cut that leash, reclaim your will, and you know what? Metaphorically pee wherever it is you want to go without asking permission. And if you or the people around you decide to tiptoe around this, then you're putting yourself into a position of failure, at least unhappiness. And I got to ask you, why? The ball is in your court, and for me, I want to reject victimhood as it relates to me and my well-being. If you're enjoying the idea of these poems that might challenge your thinking and possibly your general position on some topics, I've got some good news for you. There's a lot more I can share with you. If you go ahead and put poems down there in the comments, I'll share a link with you that'll get you some exclusive content, plus a huge discount on my upcoming book. Now let's take a look at another poem. A poem about one of mankind's biggest fears. Something everyone is desperate to avoid. Maybe everybody but me. Perhaps it's the fact that I've spent so much time in this situation. I should have my own parking spot there. And here's the thing. It's not because of bad luck. It's solely due to my own actions and decisions. In the end, that's the key to being here and being comfortable. Let's jump into this concept. I'm anxious to know how this is going to land with you. This poem's entitled, Trouble Isn't an Accident. A large part of my life's been spent dealing with trouble. You could say I'm the resident expert on the subject. Let me share with you what I've learned. The human race has an attraction to problems. Trouble isn't a weed. It must be sown and cultivated. Accepting this truth is going to save you a lot of tribulation. It's neither an accident nor entirely avoidable. Management is the key. Trouble's a ball of yarn. The solution in the unraveling. The simple solution is often a pig in a poke. Half-assed solutions often generate a reflection of resolution. Instead, grab the problem by its lapels with the intent of putting it out of its misery. Lack mercy, care, or concern. The results are the key. Troubled no more. That poem's one that can land a lot of different ways, I imagine. Do you agree with what I was talking about? If so, or if not, let me know your thoughts in the comments because, the hard truth is trouble isn't really random. It's planted, watered, and grown. Half-hearted fixes don't end up really fixing anything. Sometimes making it worse. Wishing it away only feeds the trouble. Winning means grabbing trouble by that throat and tearing it out, root and all. Now, I think I'm going to stop talking about trouble. It's only going to get me in... You see where I'm going there. That's a poet thinking, maybe a comedian. You're here for poems, not bad puns and jokes, so let's carry on. This next poem's about a mysterious element that's part of the human experience and the experiences of most creatures here on our planet. This poem's about human connections, how they start and how they proceed, if they proceed. This poem's entitled, Magnetism Fades, Commitment Lasts. We like those who we find appealing. Sometimes this is described as attraction. I bring a hefty dose of skepticism to all this. For one, they call it the law of attraction. I come from a long line of people who inherently didn't follow the law, so I view legislation, those who implement it, and administer it with a skeptical eye. Don't get me started about being appealing. Appeal is a state, and like any condition, it can pass. I present the divorce rate as my evidence. When people come together in a relationship, it's seldom by chance. One or both parties make a concerted effort, often using seduction. Seduction is an art, like magic, and once you know how the trick is done, it loses its luster. Those who don't subscribe to my way of thinking will say, wait, what about magnetism? Some people just have it, and that's appealing. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to have magnetism. Those with this gift are as lucky as a stowaway on a jewelry ship. But magnetism is like bread. It loses its appeal as time ticks by. In the end, a relationship is a commitment that's daunting. And any relationship that's worth something travels a precarious route. If you're not all in, don't bother. That's simply an exercise in futility. A relationship with legs, one that's going to travel the distance, is akin to having your head split wide open. It needs attention and care, and sometimes a bit of repair, but it's worth the effort in the end. I hope that poem is something you can relate to, or perhaps it's giving you some things to think about. Maybe a different perspective on what relationships are, and maybe some of the ones you've had in your life. I guess if you ask me what I hope that poem accomplishes, I'd say leading people to understand that as it relates to relationships, if you're not willing to endure the cracks, the fights, and the brutal repairs, you're not ready for the journey. This piece dares you to stop looking for the easy feelings and start fighting for the real thing. Now, we've touched on a great deal with these 3 poems, but the good news is there's more that I want to share with you. I'd like you to go watch this video now, and we'll continue to look at poems that hopefully shed light in places, or at least get you to think about things differently. I'll see you over there now.